way back when. SANDBOX, Summit. See what he decides to do here. There's a couple of picks now available. SANDBOX certainly are a team that do benefit from red side. As, ooh, are we going to have the Gorilla Tahm Kench? Because this is certainly the way that you get it.
Well, that could easily be Senna Tahm coming in. Senna is very underappreciated with everything that she can actually fast. And remember though, the Kalista being able to be flexed is what makes her still relatively scary. Trundle does come in, that is good for SANDBOX against Kalista in isolation, but we'll see how the rest of the draft lines up.
Ooh, this could be a Gragas support. But could also be a Gragas going into that jungle as well. Spirit could be taking that one into the Trundle. Yet to see what is going to happen there. Final pick for the first round here for the Afreeca Freecs. Whenever I see Gragas, I do like the idea of Yasuo, assuming it's played mid and jungle. Not in the bottom lane. Not a huge fan of that.
No.
But that's going to be the Taric. So we are making sure that SANDBOX knows exactly where these champions are going. Unless the Kalista is flexed, like you were talking about. The Kalista Taric is the bottom lane of choice for a lot of our teams.
Well, SANDBOX is now handed back over to them. Nautilus is going to be hover. And Wukong now.
Yeah, banned in game number 1.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like it would be the most fun for a Kalista to go up against a Wukong. That being said, in the early stages of the lane, she'd have a very, very good time. It's the all-in from that Wukong that can be a little bit disruptive. Now we'll see where SANDBOX do deliver their bans, likely to be solo lanes, because that's the only ones that we're looking for at this stage.
Yeah. And a Lee Song is going to be banned away, so they... there's a...
Are they assuming it's the Kiin top Gragas?
Is that really what they're thinking? That seems so...
Remember, SANDBOX don't have their coach. Yamato is still in the air. He is still in the air.
I'm not totally sure what that Lee Song is, but
he's a jungler.
Okay. Azir also banned away by Afreeca. And honestly, all of SANDBOX's champions right now are trying to go in on Afreeca, and so the Taric does have insane value, as does the Gragas. Corki now being banned, so they're really limiting SANDBOX's options. The cherry on top here would be something like a LeBlanc, okay? That would be the the perfect champion to sin with.
I'm feeling Afreeca are going to go towards Orianna. That's what my bones are telling me at the moment. Of course, a champion that Fly is pretty comfortable on.
It's going to be Nautilus. And so that will put Trundle in the jungle. Wukong going to likely be up in top lane, and Afreeca... Now they're the ones that just have to dial back and choose champions that continue to punish this hard-on engage that SANDBOX is trying to do. They just have to go for a protection comp, and if you want to throw the Kalista top lane, you could even pick Kog'Maw. In a spot like this, I really like the Karma.
Yep, that is singing your song just a little bit there. She is going to be locked away. Now, Ben, what is he going to collect for either AD carry position, top lane, jungle if SANDBOX are correct? But no, it's looking like top is going to be where he's going to go, meaning that our first assumption was correct.
And with the way that SANDBOX's comp is right now, Wukong does have to go in, so does Nautilus, so does Trundle. We talked about this last game, and that Aatrox can get some reward when the enemy has short-range, hard-on engaged champions. And the way that it currently stands, he's not super unhappy. SANDBOX with a bit of a savant pick, maybe. Cassiopeia versus all of that short range.
Yeah, I like it.
Is very good. Because
Fantastic
both of these team compositions are short range.
But yeah, Cassio with a miasma actually just ruins the day of 3 of these champions straight out of the gate.
Completely ruins it.
Definitely good news.
Now this is definitely much more of a SANDBOX type of team composition. But I am really curious to see what is going to end up going on here, because the way that I look at it, I can't imagine a world where they actually get through 2-3 item Karma Taric and Aatrox once everything comes online, even with Cassiopeia.
Yeah. And the Cosmic Radiance value is going to be so high.
It's going to be so high, and so a lot of pressure on SANDBOX to try to actually get ahead early, but Karma neutralizes Cassiopeia. Kiin is completely going to be fine on the Aatrox up against Wukong, and really, Kalista Taric need no introduction, and Gragas is arguably one of the best junglers in the entire game, able to do both modes. So I feel like Afreeca really made out a lot better here in game number 2. I think their team comp thematically goes against SANDBOXes really well, and they have all the keys that they really need to win, but a lot of pressure is going to be on Dove in this game because the Cassiopeia is so important in trying to resist everything Afreeca is trying to do.
Absolutely, and Dove was certainly the MVP for SANDBOX in game number 1. We'll see whether that's going to continue to happen as we move to our second game and on to the Rift. As you can see, Afreeca on our blue side now up against SANDBOX. It's do or die for SANDBOX here, trying to get us to that ace match, game number 3. But I don't know, I look at this Afreeca comp, and although, you know, you see Aatrox, you see Karma, and you're like, this isn't exciting, the cohesion of their composition makes it exciting, right? Like, the value you get out of Ardent Sensor onto Kiin and Mystic is super high. And Fly is also one of these players that is very good on utility mid laners.
Yeah.
It was like we were talking about, the Lissandra one trick, but also had some of his success earlier in the year on the Orianna mostly. And certainly Karma does fit right into that bag.
Well, we can take a look at some of the runes here. It will be the Grasp of the Undying Senna. So she will go for the Black Cleaver and the Frozen Mallet.
I like it.
You get lots of HP there.
See whether Senna is going to work out here. The Fasting Nautilus is not my most, you know, favorite.
Yeah,
I think Maokai is probably the one that I've seen be the most successful, and Volibear is the most fun. But Volley is a very different champion on this patch. As, wow, that's a long time ago.
It's been a couple of years.
That was against Insec.
Yeah.
I think that was that a jungle matchup? Oh my god, that is just insane. That's certainly a long time ago. But we are fighting. As Gorilla is going to flash. There's the, I believe, Rend. Yeah, and there we go. Mystic locks down First Blood, 2v2. Easy as you like.
And I just don't even know how something like this happens right off the get-go at level 1, but that's going to be really nice for Afreeca. They get the First Blood on the Kalista, and I'm curious to actually see what she's going to end up going this early on. Will Mystic just pick up a call? Yeah, he will, actually, so
beautiful stuff.
that is very good for him. Lots of benefit off of that kill. Let's take a look at how this all transpired. So,
just dazzled.
So yeah, basically you put the cereal in the bowl, and then you put in the milk.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how you make a bowl of cereal.
Cool. Do you put some sugar on top or something like that? Are there any other steps, or is that just it?
Only with Frosted Flakes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I like to add.
They're already frosted, right?
I'm gonna add a little bit more.
I'm a bit old school. I kind of like the muesli situation. Big fan. Don't need much on top
See,
of
Karma heard you. She gave you the thumbs up.
Fly muesli fan as well. Boomer cereal. Absolutely fantastic. There's Kiin losing out on this trade a little bit. Decoy comes out from Summit there. And Summit is actually thrashing this lane at the moment. Spirit going to be spotted by the Scryer's Bloom, but once again OnFleek doing his favorite thing, which is taking Scuttle Crabs. He might double Scuttle double games in a row. Last time didn't actually manage to net them a win or anything like that, as it feels like Spirit has been very subdued in the early game.
Yeah.
But it has been fine, especially this game, given the fact that Mystic and Ben are in such comfortable position.
And we take a look basically at what is going on inside of the jungle as well. And Gragas, he has recalled, has his Predator boots now, so you gotta go fast with your Nikes. And interestingly, Summit's actually doing a pretty good job up in top lane. Not totally sure exactly what the CS deficit is entirely, because I'm unsure what the minion wave is in front of his turret, but elsewhere, you can see, okay.
Yeah, Kiin actually looks for it, but Summit, the decoy, pretty strong at interrupting the Infernal Chains. I believe you can also do it with Nimbus Strike as well. The clones actually can soak projectiles, which is crazy. I've never been able to actually do it myself, so I'm not entirely sure. But certainly Summit with a few tools against the Aatrox.
And, well, we see the jungle camps on the left-hand side are up by Spirit, but he comes in, he places a ward on the right-hand side, and this could be a bait. Yeah, maybe. But decoy does work out. Teleport from Fly. And then he walks straight back mid, so a bit of a whoopsie. Yeah.
As Spirit says, thank you very much.
Yeah, Spirit is there to pick up the CS, so it's not like it goes totally to the void. And right now, Mystic and Ben, they could actually just recall again. But electing into staying in the lane. They know now that Trundle has no reason to be on the left-hand side of the map after what he just did, so they should anticipate that he's going to head down to the right. Karma going to convert her mid priority into moving into the right-hand side Fog of War.
And Afreeca, instead of going for that cheetah recoil like you were talking about, are going to utilize this bot lane advantage to take a very early Drake. 5.5 minutes, and Fly easily capable of moving on down here as well, with an Inspire available for Spirit. So he's got his Chariots of Harmony. He's going to be very supportive this game for the Athenes and Holy Grail, most likely into the Ardent Sense that you were talking about last game. So extensively, fantastic item, especially in this composition.
Yeah.
And especially now that we know, the state of the game at the very beginning as well, with Mystic getting an early lead. It's only going to be more difficult to deal with when Mystic hits 2 items and Fly hits 2 items. Like, that's like a mega power spike as Cyclone coming through on the top side. Second cast comes out, World Ender trying to get some extra health back there, but Crushing Blow not enough to take down Kiin in the end. Summit instead just asserting his dominance against his former teammate.
Well, everything is... Oh, well, that's not
does
good.
Avoid the ulti, but Fly's going to have to get one of his summoner spells out. No more flash.
And I'm not sure why they both didn't follow there. Dub and OnFleek both had flash available, and even if Gragas is there, pretty sure Fly is still always dead, so a little
Petrifying
bit surprising.
Gaze missing certainly helped out.
Yeah.
That was probably the biggest deal. Got some missing pings though, as Summit was making his way down the bottom side. Still just that first blood that happened very, very early in this game. And otherwise, not too much to speak of. But there is a 700 gold lead, and this cull is almost done, actually.
Yeah.
Mystic getting it so early in this game.
And that'll be a really nice power boost for him once he ends up getting it. And I mean, Afreeca, because they're in control of bot lane and even mid lane, given that it is Karma, she's able to get priority on a moment's notice. And going the Athenes on Holy Grail, it's going to make it a little bit difficult for Cassio. Once that item's completed, it's going to be very obnoxious at the second dragon fight. And once that ends up happening, Afreeca, all of a sudden, they're 10 minutes away from Soul Point, and if they roll an Infernal, it's really going to be doomed. And even Cloud isn't bad for Afreeca's team composition. Karma, you have Gragas, you have Aatrox, Taric, lots of champions that like MS.
Yeah, gotta go fast, absolutely. And also, getting more casks, more World Enders, certainly not going to be a bad thing. And Cosmic Radiance has a notoriously high cooldown. So ultimate cooldown actually working out relatively well for these guys, despite the fact that they do have a champion that has an ultimate ability called Mantra, which isn't actually really an ultimate ability. Now Summit going for another fight here. OnFleek turns up. Spirit in fantastic position right now. Kiin with his World Ender flashes on over, but he gets completely baited. Spirit looking for the body slam, but OnFleek is here. Dove turns up in the nick of time, and SANDBOX have outplayed it. I think the body slam is going to come in. It is. But we've got Predator Boots, and Spirit is going to make it out alive. Mystic, in the meantime, is stealing away a blue buff, so it's not the end of the world here for Afreeca, but Kiin might be tilted.
Yeah, Kiin is probably a little bit flustered. He canceled the auto attack with the Aatrox passive. And I do believe that would have killed Summit.
Yeah.
Had it gone off.
It might have been the flash, but I don't think that's how that works.
Too.
But still, not great. And got himself killed there. Might have been an opportunity to go OnFleek as well, but we've spoken about this already today. Hindsight is in fact 20/20. In the moment, just made the wrong call, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I think one of the other big problems happening here is you look at the CS deficit down in bot lane, and no, you do not look at Senna versus Kalista. You look at Nautilus versus Kalista. And so it's about a 30 CS gap. But remember, Mystic also has Cull available, and Cassio might just be dead.
Potentially, but not going to land the snare. So Dove does walk away. Had flash available, of course.
So we've talked about this a lot on broadcasts, and even on like co-streams, they'd mention it sometimes on the LEC. You're pulling Kalista and Taric over here to rotate for the Herald, but you just lost 100 gold in bot lane because of the minions. So the Herald gold itself, the capture, is invalidated. Also, the EXP from those minions going down for nothing. Now they're going to initiate a lane swap, but we'll see how much value they actually get out of this Herald. It's also peculiar to do this rotation when Dragon is so close to coming up, because time is of the essence for trying to set up and make sure that everything is coordinated and lined up. And now it's going to be SANDBOX actually with control and an initiative, and they get the reset first.
Yeah.
Everything is going pretty well for them, and Karma hasn't had a chance to recall yet to get that Athenes.
It's actually quite interesting as well, because I was actually going to argue that maybe it could almost be worth it for Afreeca if they're just trying to get Kiin more of an advantage topside. But in fact, the buff was taken by Mystic. So you're not even going to get that, right? It's all about making sure that Mystic can snowball ever further. But he's the one that just lost the 100 gold on the bottom side. Is now Gorilla. Not going to be pierced. We do have the ulti available here from Mystic. Depth Charge is going to come in. Is now OnFleek with a bunch of extra movement speed. Puts down a great pillar. But Cosmic Radiance is going to... Oh no, not in time! And now Ben has to get out of there. But the flash, I don't know whether it's going to be enough. That cast was stunning.
Yeah. He does bowl in his time. You know?
He is. Damn right he does.
Afreeca has been looking into that one. And that's going to mean that SANDBOX actually get themselves on the board for Dragons. There's probably no way that Gragas is ever going to entertain a attempted steal here. As you can see, he's a little bit preoccupied right now, pushing the bottom lane. And that kill onto Kalista is really big for a bunch of reasons even. It also stunts the Cull purchase, which means that she's not coming back this time with Blade of the Ruin King.
Yeah, so, and also unable to put down the Herald as well, so it does alleviate a bit of extra pressure on SANDBOX's side. Now with the purple hands, Mystic thinking about maybe dropping it here in this mid lane, certainly the highest priority turret. But you're right, definitely a more high value kill than any other on the map at the moment here for SANDBOX. Take down Mystic.
And I really like what Mystic's actually doing. He's summoning the Rift Herald in... No. No.
Serious? You got the money, right?
Did he?
I hope so. I don't know.
I'm not sure if he did, actually. I believe the tether range is 2,000, but only if you entered into the range initially, or if you... I'm not totally sure how that works.
Yeah, and I don't 100%, but maybe the collective knows. They do have at least 200 years of combined experience.
Well, hopefully they did end up getting it, as
he gets
you see the initial harpoon did miss.
Oh yeah, he gets it anyway because he's the one that summoned it, so it's fine. Yeah, easy peasy. We're going to watch Mystic go down though, as Cosmic Radiance just a little bit too late. I actually thought it was going to arm, as you may have heard. But this cast, certainly saving Ben's life, and also was very cathartic to those watching at home. Afreeca's still in the lead though. This is still certainly their game to lose at the current juncture. And Fly is racing towards that Athenes. Blade of the Ruin King is done for Mystic. That Cull has already been cashed in. And now looking for even more. They move back down towards the bottom side with 30 seconds left on these turret plates. I don't think Mystic's going to be getting any more. But has been accelerated relatively well. OnFleek does spot the bottom lane, and that is a great dredge line to come out onto Ben. Fate's Call is going to be available though, and that's going to keep him alive. Mystic playing aggressively. Ben not at all. Gets under the safety of his turret.
Yep. And everything is just basically going blow for blow everywhere. Afreeca currently has a 1,000 gold lead. Remember, they have the Mountain Dragon as well, so that is very valuable for some of their champions.
Yeah, OnFleek actually trapping himself a little bit there, as that's another fantastic barrel. Ulti comes out, though, from Root, trying to get at least the health bars back, but Fly can't quite figure out where to throw his Q. Does eventually find 3 members, and now Spirit comes in. The Cosmic Radiance that we were talking about, very high value in this particular fight, and Root's going to have to flash to get himself out of the way. Mystic now trying to go 1 versus 3, and a double kill comes through for Fly. Spirit goes golden to keep himself alive. The tether not enough onto Root there. Fly not wanting to go too far forward, and now Afreeca set up to push out these lanes and keep pursuing this advantage.
Well, that was a very big victory for Afreeca. And meanwhile, up here in top lane, I mean, Kiin, he's holding down the fort. We're going to take a look at it one more time. So, OnFleek deciding that it was now or never to get this control ward. Root and Gorilla coming from the right-hand side in the river. He tries to flash out. Take a look at Summit. Manages to cancel the Aatrox teleport. And then look at the heal on Taric that keeps him alive for the Cosmic Radiance. And Spirit, had he landed the stun onto Cassiopeia too, none of this follow-up would have transpired. So close. Almost getting Mystic. And then take a look at this. Spirit misaims his Q a little bit, so he's not able to have it set up. And then Fly, interestingly, I think he broke the tether.
Yeah, I actually think
Senna.
I think the reason he backed off is because he expected Spirit was going to be able to land the slow and had already decided to flash, and then once the slow didn't connect, he just believed that he wasn't going to be able to lock down that kill. I could sort of see what his brain was doing, but it looked a little bit silly. There's the Ardent Sensor.
There it is.
This is now exactly where Afreeca want to be, and maybe a little bit earlier than they were expecting to get there as well. So very scary times ahead here for SANDBOX. Thankfully for them, it is only a Cloud Soul, but we already iterated that Cloud Drake, not too bad here for this squad.
Yeah. And that would be 30% to whoever ends up getting it on the ultimates, as Kiin and Summit are...
Oh, not quite there.
Huh?
Infernal Chain is going to land, and now Kiin thinking about going for a little bit more of a trade while the World Ender is still available. The Executioner's Calling is already there for Summit, so not exactly the greatest of times here for Kiin. Topside, doesn't matter though, everything's absolutely even, and Kiin's going to be trying to team fight this game. Total Gold, Mystic and Fly, the 2 champions that are going to be carrying here for Afreeca. Certainly in the lead. And it's why it's feeling like smooth sailing here for these guys. Summit moving on down. We'll find Shirley being taken down here by Spirit. Not going to be opting in for contesting this one whatsoever. SANDBOX do steal away a Drake, as Mystic was on a reset. Now Fly thinking about trying to defend Shirley as well.
And everything is pretty fine right now, though, for Afreeca. They have Bork on the Kalista. She's going to get her second item probably relatively soon.
Predator coming in.
Yep.
Slowed down by the pillar. Spares.
OnFleek does have a 1-level edge over Spirit right now, but not the end of the world by any means. And Aatrox has the Black Cleaver over Wukong, but there's probably not going to be a very big team fight. The second Rift Herald should be used to crack the mid-tier 1 of SANDBOX. And the side lanes are all still very, very healthy. And that will probably be difficult to end up getting the gold in for both of these parties, just because their team compositions are both very immobile. And their top laners don't really move either of each other. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Certainly feeling like we are heading towards a relative lull state. 3.5 minutes until the Cloud Drake is going to spawn, but as you saw, Afreeca not really prioritizing that one either. SANDBOX with an opportunity to move towards Soul Point, but it is Cloud and doesn't suit their composition quite as much. Maybe Wukong. I mean, movement speed on Wukong after pressing R certainly feels fantastic. But otherwise, not exactly the greatest. It's now Gorilla, a little bit behind enemy lines, but does keep himself alive here, as Mystic is just looking for that Runaan's Hurricane as best he can.
And, well, Looks like Afreeca are now rotating towards mid. They're probably going to summon the Rift Herald there and then capture it. As right now, I mean, Frozen Mallet almost going to be completed by Root, but they're still ways away from being able to do anything. Honestly, I can't.
Oh no, Shirley doesn't know where to go.
Yeah, she is so confused right now.
Oh.
She woke up in between a pillar, a oversized snake woman, and a troll from the mountains, and she's just wondering.
Troll King.
Yeah,
as Spirit is going to put a barrel down on top of where Dove and Summit are both coming in. That's a great cast to come down as well, but the flash out from Dove was brilliant. Cosmic Radiance might just ruin their day, though, as all 5 go completely invincible, and Summit has to flash to get himself out. Kiin down to about half health, but Ben flashing on forward. The dazzle was glorious. The shields are everywhere for Afreeca. And despite Gorilla going golden, I don't think it's going to keep him alive. The body slam lands at exactly the right time, and a double kill for Mystic as Afreeca bear down on the bottom out of Taric.
And Karma and Taric are pretty good champions.
Yeah, pretty good.
When you want to go super short range and take these very scrappy skirmishes, they are just going to always win the war of attrition. So basically, SANDBOX, they have one shot, one opportunity to really just bring Taric down in the fight. If they can't do it, they will never win an extended team fight. And Karma, as well, with just those 2 items, they feel like 4.
Yeah, you don't need any more, actually.
And oppressive they are together. The heals, the shields, the amplification coming out in these team fights. The gold score at the top doesn't do it justice at all.
Yeah, this is actually extraordinarily skewed for this stage of the game, especially, but I don't think that Afreeca have any worries when it comes to scaling either, given what Karma can give to the Kalista. But this was just a bit of bad luck, honestly, coming out from SANDBOX, because Spirit was exactly where he needed to be.
I mean, you just saw Fly Shield invalidating Wukong's attempt. That's what's going to happen, actually, every single time, is that any opportunity Wukong sees to try to go in, Karma's going to look down at her keyboard, put her hand on her chin and go, RE, and Wukong is going to be really
It's actually like healing in World of Warcraft. Like, that's literally what he's doing.
He's like a resto druid.
Yeah, it's actually just a resto druid. No, discipline priest. 100%.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Powered shield.
So, yeah, it's honestly, it's not very good. And Taric over there with his Divine Shield and Lay on Hands is also very unfortunate for SANDBOX to try to fight through.
I'm glad there's a Paladin in there as well. We're Alliance, I guess, assuming that it's classic. 5,000 gold in the lead is Afreeca now. 8 seconds before this Cloud Drake, and I don't think SANDBOX are going to be able to fight for this one. This time of the game, just too good for Afreeca. And their composition has just achieved what it wants to. That outer turret, like we were talking about, fell in bottom lane and in mid. SANDBOX have started off this Drake. See whether Afreeca do decide to go for this one. Cosmic Radiance is available. Now they're looking for the fight. Ben, gigantic shields coming in, but will get snared up.
Yeah, and this is big though for SANDBOX. They do manage to get the second Cloud Drake. And that is really nice because it brings the game to Soul's point. And getting that movement speed, while it might not matter a whole lot, it's still going to be pretty good.
Yep.
Because whether you're going into Afreeca slow or fast doesn't really change what Taric and Karma are going to try to do, so.
Yeah, that one's relatively binary. Yeah. Mystic close to picking up his third item as well. His Aegis of the Legion complete. Death Dance going to be on the way very soon as Spirit just slams his way through the pillar. And SANDBOX they have somewhat stabilized, which isn't too bad.
Yeah.
Spirit. Okay. He's just gonna die.
He's dead. And that could be actually really big. They might just do a Desperation Baron.
Spirit he's definitely a big part of the Afreeca comp, but that is a fantastic Dredgeline Cyclone coming down as well as now Ben. Fate's Call, Cosmic Radiance, and now 2 versus 4. They're actually able to fight back. Kiin grabs one of the kills. Fly coming on in with all of that utility and does lock down OnFleek there. Gorilla is well and truly dead, and unfortunately for SANDBOX, This Afreeca comp just seems to be a little bit too far ahead, that even 2 versus 4, they're able to fight back. But Fate's Call Cosmic Radiance pretty strong. That sidestep was beautiful. Now ulti off cooldown here for Dove. OnFleek does at least smite the red buff.
It really looked like that was just going to be Kalista and Taric going down. I legitimately thought that they had them there. And unfortunately for them, they got a really nice little edge and then they threw it right away. Although it looked like it was really close. So you're going to take a look at Spirit. There's no reason to be getting this kind of vision right now because Baron's not really on your mind. And Gorilla, he lands a fantastic hook. Wukong immediately follows up with the engage. And it looks like they were just going to die, but the Cosmic Radiance comes out. Ben dies. But not before Kiin can get here and then fly. I mean, look at the shield and the heals. It's honestly it's really not really balanced at all.
No. World Ender plus Ardent Sensor on an Aatrox is actually just obscene. Not really what you want. He's got a Death Stance now completed. Mystic would like his. I think he can probably purchase it relatively soon. But the Fate's Radiance combo is actually just real silly. With the fact that it arms even after Ben has gone untargetable, means that if you do focus the Taric, I mean, it's going to go off anyway, assuming Mystic has his wits about him, which he certainly did in that last moment. Certainly why this Kalista Taric combo did find so much headway here in Korea especially, largely Genji.
The thing that's so surprising to me, by the way, is Trundle went for Spirit Visage, second item, and sure, Subjugate and Trundle's healing is, well, I guess there's a Senna too, actually, you know what, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sort of
yeah,
helps.
Sure. Actually, you know what?
Not a whole lot of magic damage you need to worry about, but I guess you can respect Gragas and
you can just rely on the Ninja Tabai, the passive rune, and then the Chain Vest, actually. You know what? It's actually a good buy.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's doing all right.
I was kind of molding, but now I actually...
You have to remember, he's the hard carry of SANDBOX right now with 100% of their kills. Which is absolutely not what you want, to be perfectly honest. Trundle is not going to be the character that's going to be doing that. Speaking of Fly, though, 2-0-3, having a good game so far. And looking for his Rabbidan's Death Cap for item number 3. Fantastic. Always build flat AP if you're a utility champion. Helps you with your heals, your shields, and your damages. Just great news.
And the other thing that is going on in this game is that, like, 40 seconds until the Cloud Dragon, but this one, it really does look like Afreeca will be ready to fight. However, Karma is gated a little bit as she's waiting for the Rabbidan's Death Cap.
Yeah, might be, you know, the best opportunity that SANDBOX have.
Yeah, this is going to be their last stand. From after this point forward, everything just starts getting so much worse because Trundle, I mean, he's the same champion. Yeah. No matter what item he completes, he's going to basically cast the same amount of Qs, auto about the same amount of time. Doesn't matter that he's slightly more tanky because it's not integral to the fight. Wukong,
well,
okay.
They're getting in. There's the cast. Lands onto Dove. Cosmic Radiance is going to come through, but SANDBOX doing exactly the right thing. Just disengaging and going for the re-engage now. Gorilla lands the hook, but he might pay for it with his life. Fate's Call gets a brilliant double knock-up as the Cyclone in the backline. Not enough to take down Spirit because welcome to Karma, everyone. And yes, there's a saying that I could say, but I'm not going to. Petrifying Gaze comes out from Dove, but that is a disengage ultimate. It's precisely not what you want. And Afreeca just showing SANDBOX that they have way more tools to get the job done.
Well, this is definitely going to be interesting here. As Afreeca, they're going to finally pick themselves up. One of the Cloud Dragons.
Yep, locked down by the Rend of Mystic.
I really gotta say that once Afreeca has 3 of them on Karma, it's gonna be so hard to actually team fight. Her mantra is gonna be up so often, and we just take a look at this, and SANDBOX, they did a really good job. They got the Cosmic Radiance out, and that should have been it. They could have postured again, but then Chuck Testa, Leroy Jenkins straight into the middle of the fight. Gorilla almost loses his life, and Karma, some say that she did date Aphelios at one point in time, you know?
200 years of Karma? Damn, that is a lot of pent-up
Sometime
Karma,
in the
that's
18th century, it was when that happened. Well.
And now she's got a death cap, by the way, guys. Didn't have that one for the last fight, so it's gonna get worse. Just so you know. It's like how everyone talks about summer here in Korea. I'm like, it's really hot, everyone. They're like, ha ha ha. No, Max. It gets way hotter than this. Well, that's it's precisely what everyone's saying to SANDBOX now. As the third item does come in for Fly. And now can probably like build whatever the heck he wants. Maybe defensive items. I don't know whether he'd ever want to get a Void Staff, because it's not about his damage. It's about how much he augments the rest of his team. But right now, he's got exactly the items that he wants.
Well, at this point, I think Afreeca, they're up 6,000 gold. They have all the items that they could possibly want right now to take yet another skirmish if they want to. They also have Baron as a very easy secure, given that they have the Kalista. And honestly, I'm just really keen to see them start this. As the spirit of them, it's really living on. And I think they're going to fly to victory here.
I think they almost have a mystical nature about them.
Oh,
Don't they, Ben?
They have been very mystical.
Oh, no, that's mispronunciation. Come on. I will not allow it, but I'll allow this team fight as Summit gets into the back line, but the Cosmic Radiance once again is going to be there. Fate's Call looking for the re-engage. Good double knock-up. As Gorilla's going to go down low, but the Petrifying Gaze working out this time. Flash forward from Kiin, but the Snake Lady does get rid of the Taric. I just don't know whether it's going to be enough as double kill comes in for Mystic, looking for his third. As, goodbye. Wukong comes back from his Guardian Angel, immediately enters the Death Chamber. And now Afreeca go back towards this Baron, and then continue to look for their 2-0 to start off today.
Yeah. And with the Baron, this is going to persist at least into the next Dragon, even if they don't manage to end the game there. But SANDBOX is all out of fuel, I think, here. I think that they are absolutely...
I hope they're not. They need fuel to keep Yamato's plane in the air, okay? So don't be talking about fuel. Need Yamato to get here safe and sound. Took a long time gathering that visa together, but thankfully he does now have it. And might need to get to work pretty early here as SANDBOX looking like they're staring down the barrel of a 0-2 to start this one off.
Well, we see that SANDBOX, they try to take a last stand. It comes off a little bit premature for the start of the fight, and there's just no answer. You can't beat Karma's shields and Taric bolstering the Kalista and the Aatrox. The Trundle doesn't do anything. We've already seen what Wukong does. Senna is literally full tank.
Yeah.
And your Cassiopeia built Rod of Ages. So there's no Leandries going on there. There's not a lot of damage. There's no death cap.
Do you know, I think there's a change.
Rod
of Ages needs to stack to 200. It needs to.
The Rod. That makes sense now. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Collective, get on it. We need to figure out a way of doing this. I need to see 200
I need to go to Mark Yetter's Twitter 2 weeks from now and see the balance change.
200 weeks from now. No, we don't even need to talk about that because Aphelios isn't in the game. We've got Karma, his sister, who built the item that really I thought was done. Ardent Sense of being ridiculous was done. 2017 was a year that happened, but not one that we really want to remember. For anything other than the fact that the LCK won. And Summit now looking for Kiin, down to about half health as the decoy does come out. But SANDBOX, of course, not actually looking for any engage, especially with Afreeca all there to back up their teammates. And we are finally looking at that 10,000 gold lead that Afreeca have been threatening for a very long time. As Mystic just feeling like he has no care in the world walking up to this turret, just getting auto attacks off. Summit just trying to trade where he can, trying to cling on to some form of relevance as this Wukong.
And it looks like, I mean, they're just sieging the bot turret. They're up almost 10,000 gold. And, I mean, that turret in bottom is on its last leg, although the cannon is very attracted to Trundle.
It is.
So,
Pillar was good for defense as well, so that's going to keep it alive for at least another minion wave. Feels like only a matter of time. Bloodthirster, Death Stance, Blade of the Rune King, by the way, for Mystic. And he has Ardent Sensor on a Karma. That is the most healing possible. You'd need 17 Morellan Omicron to deal with that. Instead, they only have a couple of Executioner's Callings.
Yeah, they do have the Executioners, which I do think is very good.
We need to make Morellos and
Senna.
Executioners like stack. That's what we need. Grievous Wounds needs to stack.
Interestingly enough, though, the person that's going to be able to apply it the most would be Cassio.
Yeah, precisely.
So with the Miasma and the Petrifying Gaze, that would be very big in the team fight if it could hit multiple members and just apply it.
Oh no, OnFleek just hand-delivered to the Afreeca Freecs, and Gorilla also going to get knocked up. But there's the Cosmic Radiance. I've seen this movie before, Summit, and it doesn't work out so well for you as Kiin dives in towards the backline, and Ben gets that knock-up that we talk about every single team fight, and there's the Rend to explode the members of SANDBOX and their hopes of staying in this series. Afreeca, it just seems like the first round robin of any season is a good one for these guys. As Summit is going to go down, that should be the ace. And Afreeca Freecs start off the season real strong.
Yeah, they really, really did.